Hi, I'm Ben Bornstein from the Hawken Transport Authority. Today, I'm going to share a few tips with you to help you improve your fuel efficiency as well as help save the environment. Before we get in the car, there are a few things that we need to take care of first. The first is basic maintenance. Taking your car to the dealership for routine maintenance is like going to the doctor's for a checkup. They'll keep your car in good shape and fix anything that might turn into a huge problem in the future. Another really important thing to do is check your oil regularly. Engine oil lubricates the engine and makes it run smoothly. And it's actually very easy to do. Once you're under the hood, you want to go to where you see the little dipstick. Take the dipstick out and wipe the excess oil off. Reinsert the dipstick, take it out, and look at the tip for a reading. There should be a little safe area. Then reinsert. If your oil level doesn't appear to be in the safe zone, it may be time to add some more. Pick up a tire gauge from your auto parts store if you don't have one. Then push it to the nozzle and you'll get a reading. Tire pressure is heavily dependent on temperature. You're going to want to check them about once a month anyways, but just to be safe, you should check them after there's a big weather swing or a season change. The best time to take tire pressure readings is after you've driven a mile or so already and gotten the tires up to temperature. Now it's time to get on the road. Some of the biggest improvements to be had have to do with the way you drive and the decisions that you make. Accelerating harshly or braking excessively put excessive wear and tear on your car and waste a ton of energy. Here's me driving down my street slowly. Now quickly. Now slowly again. And now quickly again. I did make the run faster. The loss in efficiency and wear and tear on my car were not worth it. Another useful tool is cruise control. Cruise control helps you maintain a constant speed so you don't lose energy coasting down and speeding back up. Contrary to popular belief, using your AC system instead of rolling down the windows is actually more efficient on the highway. Rolling down your windows causes a lot of drag, and it makes it harder for the engine to push the car through the air. While these tips may help you get better fuel economy, one of the biggest things you can do is when you go out to buy your next car, do some research. While I would certainly check the EPA estimated mileage for the car you're about to buy, I would also check on an independent site to see what real-world users are getting in the real world. There are a few big things to consider when buying a new car. While some people need a certain type of vehicle to suit their needs, many people drive bigger cars than they need to. Lugging around all that extra weight if you're not actually going to use it is definitely not worth paying for the extra gas. Look into hybrids or alternative fuel vehicles. While not new and revolutionary like hybrids and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, diesel and biodiesel are not a bad option either. A gallon of diesel or biodiesel, when compared to a gallon of gas, has much higher energy per that volume, and when you're driving on the road, you can get that much more energy out of it. And not only do diesel and biodiesel have greater energy per volume, they also burn cleaner. Another way to save fuel is to buy a car with a manual transmission. The problem with an automatic transmission is that the transmission uses power made by the engine to shift gears by itself. What's good about a manual transmission is that because the driver is shifting the gears and manipulating the clutch, it doesn't take as much power from the engine, and therefore you get more gas mileage. Manual transmissions also allow you to manipulate the engine speed more effectively, and therefore you can keep the engine spinning lower and using less gas. As I mentioned before, hybrids are still a very good option. Because they use a different kind of drive line with electric motors instead of drive shaft and transmissions, some of the parasitic losses are lower, and therefore you lose less energy, especially at low speeds. Another added feature of hybrids is regenerative braking. Regenerative braking is when a hybrid uses the electric motors to slow down instead of the brakes. This charges the battery instead of just dissipating the momentum into heat like normal brakes do. The most important thing you can do for the environment, however, is to carpool. Fortunately for us, the benefits of carpooling are obvious and very attainable. Let's say I'm going to go to a basketball game with 4 other friends, and we're all going to drive separately. But at the last second, we all decide to carpool and pile into my buddy's car. Now, if we all drove kind of a similar car, we're only going to be putting 1/5 of the pollution, wear and tear on our roads and cars, and we're only going to be using 1/5 of the gas that we would have used if we would have driven separately. And plus, we wouldn't be as lonely, and we'd probably have more fun hanging out with each other anyways. Sounds like a win-win to me. Remember, be smart, play your part, and save our planet. Thanks.